Oh, hello. Welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today is a very pleasant Sunday Stuff and Things. And on this pleasant Sunday Stuff and Things, we will talk about upcoming videos, things that you can look forward to on Stuff and Things and Stuff and Things Plays. We'll talk a little bit about how I've been looking at analytics and I'm trying to figure out maybe the most opportune time to post videos, so I'd like a little feedback from you about that. Little mini rants, something occurred to me recently that you should pay for music, maybe a controversial thing in this day and age. Also talking about how one person having an opinion does not mean if their opinion differs from your own that they are judging you. Get into that a little bit. A weird little thing from a snippet of an Italian movie from the 60s that I was going to mention, and then of course, hashtag askstuffandthings, where you ask your questions, leave your comments and feedback, and I answer them on the Sunday Stuff and Things. So let's get into it. Okay, first, upcoming videos. So the video that I've recorded today and that we'll be posting this Wednesday is going to be 3 Burley blends for fall/autumn. I did a video in the summer, I think it was top 5 summer blends, something like that. This isn't a top 5, but as we've mentioned before, I don't know, through many videos, there are certain blends that seem to match certain seasons the best. So for me personally, I really like a Virginia blend or a Virginia Perique blend when it's hot in the summer. In the winter, I often gravitate more towards heavier English blends with Latakia in them. But to me, the fall is perfect for Burley blends. And I go through 3 of my favorites, or 3 that I think are really worth trying out, that really kind of capture the fall feeling and just that season of the year. So check that video out. That will be posting this Wednesday. We will, of course, be doing a review of the Bark River Aurora Scandi in CPM 3V coming up soon. I still haven't decided scheduling-wise where all these videos are going to go. We will have another Timeless Style video pretty soon. I'm just waiting for a couple things that I need before I can make that video. If you did not watch the Timeless Style video that I did on the Chisos #1 cowboy boots, please watch that. I posted that last Wednesday. Spent a lot of time working on that, so maybe I'll put a little thing here. Which side of the screen is it? I don't know. One corner of the screen, you will see the link to the Timeless Style cowboy boots, the Chisos #1 cowboy boots review. Please check that out. And then of course we have the Elden Ring series every Monday, Wednesday, and I believe now Saturday. I'm gonna be posting one video on Saturday because when I looked, this is kind of skipping ahead, but when I looked at my analytics for Stuff and Things Plays, it showed that most of my viewers were on a Saturday. So I'm gonna post a Saturday video. So Monday, Wednesday, Saturday for the Stuff and Things Plays Elden Ring series, continuing there. So yeah, lots coming up. Stay tuned. So we talked a little bit about this already in the introduction, but I've been going through analytics, trying to pay more attention to analytics, and they have this interesting little section where it shows when your viewers are most likely to be on YouTube. And it's based upon, I'm pretty sure, the people who are actually viewing your videos when they're actively using YouTube. And I've noticed that it seems that most of you are online or watching YouTube more in the late afternoon to early evening. That's what it seems like. And so I'm considering, I know, way back in the day, I used to have the Sunday video at 4 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday. And then I switched it to, I think originally like 6 a.m. and then I made it 9 a.m. I'm considering it moving back into the afternoon on Sunday. I want to know what you all think of that. I just want to catch you when most of you are online and ready to watch. So let me know about that. As far as the Wednesday videos, I guess Wednesday is actually not a great day to post videos according to YouTube, but I like having it there because it breaks up the week. So unless you guys tell me different, I'll probably keep it there. It would make sense to do it on Friday or Saturday because that's when a lot of people are online watching YouTube. Might play around with the times as well, not totally sure. Again, asking for your feedback about that. And then as I already mentioned, the gameplay videos are gonna be Monday, Wednesday, Saturday now, and I think they're all gonna be, I think the Monday, Wednesday videos are gonna be at noon Pacific for Stuff and Things Plays, and then the Saturday video is going to be at 8 a.m. Pacific. So again, just trying to catch you guys when you're actually online and watching videos. So yeah, I definitely would like your feedback if, you know, comments, suggestions, anything like that as far as posting times, let me know in the comments below. Thank you. Okay, here is kind of a weird topic and perhaps a controversial topic. I think that if you listen to music, you should pay for the music you listen to. Now, I know that most people these days subscribe to a service like Spotify, so they say, oh, well, I am paying for music. I'm paying a certain amount, subscription fee each month or year, whatever, and then I have unlimited streaming of music. This occurred to me the other day because somebody was trying to share a playlist with me on Spotify, and I had to tell them, well, I don't have Spotify. I don't use Spotify. I don't have a paid subscription. So if I try to listen to your playlist, it's going to be randomized and I'm going to have ads and it's just going to be a big mess. And they were flabbergasted by the fact that I didn't use Spotify. And I realized, I mean, it's something I knew, but I just hadn't really thought about, that most people these days listen to music on Spotify. And recently, my older brother has been really getting into records again. He's been buying vinyl. He, I think, had upgraded his turntable and his speakers and things like that. And we were talking about that, like how vinyl has had such a huge resurgence recently and how cool it is and how fun it is to actually listen to music on vinyl. I have not a lot of vinyl. I think maybe like that much vinyl. But I still like to listen to vinyl sometimes. And so all of this kind of stewing in my brain, and it made me realize, like, I buy everything. If there's something I want, if it's a new band and they're putting out, it's a new release, if they're putting something out on vinyl, I will typically buy the vinyl because usually the vinyl has a download key for a digital version of the album. So I will buy the vinyl, I'll put that away, and then I'll have the digital version. I put that into iTunes, and I listen to most of my music through iTunes. I had digitized way back all my CDs, put them on my computer, and then I access them through iTunes. If there's a new band now, if it's not on vinyl, I will go on to iTunes and I will buy the album. Might just buy one or two songs to see what I think, but if I think I'm gonna like this, I will buy the whole album. And then I will own it, and it will be on my phone or on my computer. I don't stream music. Occasionally, if somebody says you should check out this band, I will go on YouTube or something like that and try to listen to a little bit to see what I think. But I just think it's really important in order for us to have good music and continue to have good music for people to pay for music, because the amount of money that artists get from streaming services is minuscule. You could have 1 million streams on one of your songs and make very little money. And so the incentive structure gets all out of whack. The only people making money are the ones who run the streaming services and, to a certain regard, the labels. And then if you're a super big band, you can make money from touring and stuff like that. But as far as actually producing music and then getting it in people's hands for them to listen to, if you're the artist, you make very little money. And I just think, as a sign of respect and solidarity with these people, go on iTunes and buy their album. It's pretty easy. And I think also it helps you appreciate music in a different way. If you're listening to music on a streaming service, it's like all these algorithms. They think, okay, this person is listening to this, this, and this. This means they must like music that sounds like this, this, and this. Therefore, whatever we put in front of them is going to be similar to this, this, and this. And so you end up kind of honing in and getting this real weird tunnel vision where everything you see and everything you listen to is in some ways derivative of something else that you've already seen or something else that you've already listened to. And I just think it's a really weird feedback loop that makes music bad and makes people's tastes sort of stagnant. So this is just a little rant, just for food for thought. I think you should pay for music. If you like something, buy it, listen to it. I know a lot of people probably don't have the room or the will to want to start buying vinyl or things like that. But if you have any curiosity about that, I think it's a really cool thing you can still do. So many bands now, even if they're new bands, will release something on vinyl, and it's really cool. One of my favorite bands is The Cribs, and they are a current band. They still produce music, and they always release their records on vinyl. And unfortunately, there's one of their albums that I don't have, because usually it's a limited release. It'll be out for a while, and you can still always get it digitally, but then the vinyl eventually goes away once it sells out. They did just recently re-release their first 3 albums on vinyl, which was nice. I was able to grab those. But there's one of their albums that I don't have, and now it's like hundreds of dollars to try to find it. So I can only hope that that they eventually re-release it. But it's cool. Buy your music. I think you'll enjoy it. All right. You're getting 2 rants for the price of 1 in this episode. Just a little mini rant. I occasionally express opinions on the Sunday Stuff and Things, and usually all of you are totally fine with the fact that I might have an opinion that disagrees with your own. And I'm not even singling anyone out in particular, but occasionally there's a little bit of pushback. So if I come out with a strong statement, like recently I said, you know what? You should watch movies with subtitles instead of dubbed. Or I didn't even say you should do it. I think I just said you will get much more enjoyment out of it, and it's a better experience to watch things with subtitles over dubbed. And some people pushed back on that and said that it was being judging of them, or it was judgmental to say that it's better to watch subtitles than it is to watch a dubbed version of, whatever it might be, a television show, a movie, whatever. And I just want to push back on the pushback, because if I have an opinion about something, it doesn't mean that I'm 100% right, but it also doesn't mean that it is an attack on your opinion if you have the opposite opinion. I can express an opinion. I can tell you the reasons why I hold that opinion. If your opinion does not coincide with mine, it does not mean that I therefore think less of you or that I am judging you or belittling you. It just means that that's what I think. And if you feel the way you do about that subject and it is different than the way I feel, you can think of it as, okay, I am strong, or my opinion is strong, I feel secure in this. It's interesting that he disagrees with me, but it doesn't affect me. You could think, I'm still fairly secure in what I believe, but maybe this has opened up a few avenues for me to question what I think. Maybe I'll contemplate that, and maybe at the end of the day, I'll think about it and think, no, I'm still right. Or you could think of it as, this is an attack. He doesn't agree with me, and therefore he is attacking me, he is judging me. The last one, I think, is not very healthy. If somebody doesn't agree with me, because I am usually fairly confident in what I believe, I don't take it personally, and I don't take it as an attack or an insult, and I don't think of them as judging me. I'm not so confident that I think I am infallible, and there have been many instances where someone has expressed an opinion that doesn't agree with my own. I have thought of their reasoning and the logic behind their opinion, and then I have altered mine slightly. All this to say, I think in general, the current mood in our culture, social media, everything that has been taking place in the last 10 to 20 years has made people overly sensitive about their own beliefs or opinions being, quote, attacked or judged. And I think if we all step back a little bit, relax a little bit, we could realize that somebody having a differing opinion or a different belief about something does not necessarily mean that they're attacking you or judging you. Just food for thought. All right, and one weird little fun thing. Diamond and I were watching a film the other day. It was one that she had watched and loved and wanted me to watch as well. And it's Boccaccio 70. So it's a, what would you call it? An anthology. Several different Italian directors made shorts for this film. It was from 1962, I believe. I didn't watch the whole thing, but there was one piece by Fellini that Diamond really wanted me to watch. She thought it was hilarious. And it was quite hilarious, but within that piece, there was this jingle for milk that continued to play throughout the short, and it played over and over and over, and it's like, Bevete Piu Latte, Bevete Piu Latte. It's like, drink milk, and it's like children singing it, and it goes on and on and on. And it's really funny, and at one point, like, well, go watch it if you want to. It's really funny. It's about a guy who believes that he is morally superior, and he's trying to stop everybody from doing the things that he thinks are reprehensible. And a giant billboard of a woman drinking milk draws his ire, and he wants to get it ripped down. And then eventually the woman in the billboard comes to life within his own fantasy. And anyway, it's quite good. But it just now occurred to me, the fact that latte means milk in Italian, and I'm sure that had a Latin root. You know, we talk about a latte is coffee with milk. I knew latte meant milk, but it just occurred to me now that we say chocolate in English. So I don't know why I never thought of this, but that's like choco latte. Cocoa latte. So when we're saying chocolate milk, we're saying cocoa milk. Basically, it's redundant. And it's kind of weird. I never thought about that before, and I just thought, that's interesting. Food for thought. Chocolate, latte. Latte means milk. Choco latte. Chocolate milk is cocoa milk. All right, gang, but now it is time for hashtag Ask Stuff and Things. Remember, if you have a question for me and you would like it answered on the Sunday Stuff and Things, you can tweet at SAT Bradley with the hashtag Ask Stuff and Things. You can also ask me questions via Patreon, and you will go to the front of the line. And on YouTube, you can ask me questions in the comment section of my videos. You can also leave feedback and anything else that you would like me to see, and I will pick through those. I read all your comments. And if there are any good questions, feedback, all that stuff, I will put them on the Sunday Stuff and Things. But first, via Twitter and Mozzarella Man 420, they say, "Hi Bradley, I was wondering, a long while back you made a video of you trying the Murray's Dunhill version of Elizabethan mix. Did you ever finish off that tin? I was just curious how long it lasted. I don't think it would have lasted very long if I had it. Thank you, Mozzarella Man. Yes, that tin did not last long. I didn't treat it differently than any other tin. I probably should have jarred it up and just kept it and just taken it out for special occasions, but nope, I sucked that stuff down pretty quickly. Next, via YouTube, this is from Josh Florent, Stuffin' Things. Off topic. What do you think of the Peterson version of Elizabethan? I essed a couple of bowls the other day and really enjoyed it, but I never essed the Dunhill version. Is it different, the same, better? What are your thoughts? I'm sure you have a video about it. I just haven't seen it yet. Do I have a video about it? I have lots of videos. I think maybe if you have consumed more of the videos on my channel, you may have seen that Elizabethan mixture figures quite prominently in many of my videos. And in fact, when the Dunhill version of Elizabethan was taken off the market, I spent months trying to find a replacement for that. And then eventually when STG, which was the same parent company that manufactured the Dunhill version of the blend, they re-released the blend under the Peterson name I did a video saying that yes, this is the same blend, and it is the same blend. It's made by the same people in the same factories using, it's not the same teas every year because year by year the teas will change a bit, but for all intents and purposes, it is exactly the same as the latest or the last Dunhill version. So thank you for the question. Next, we have some feedback from last week's Sunday Stuff and Things. This is from Will Dominguez. Thanks for not getting into politics. So I talked a bit about how I don't usually mention, very often I don't mention current events or tragic things, and some people ask, like, why don't you mention these things? Don't you care? I said, yes, of course I care, but that's not really what this Sunday video is about. And so a lot of you responded to that. In fact, so many of you that I couldn't include most of those comments, but just a few. From Will, thanks for not getting into politics, Bradley. As an Idahoan, I appreciate, Idahoan, I guess so. I guess I never thought of what you would call someone from Idaho, a Idahoan, but Idahoan. As an Idahoan, I appreciate a Washingtonian who doesn't talk about politics for once. I guess we have that reputation. Next from Pentarax, seems to me we're inundated with news, mostly emotion-stirring things designed to rile us up. So not sure why anyone would want a Sunday Stuff and Things to add to that mountain. If you wanted to talk about something as part of your experience that week, sure. But as a general rule, no. I watch these for a relaxing S with my good friend Bradley, not a recap of whatever happened in the world. Thanks, Pentarax. Droid Little, I totally appreciate the fact that you don't give us a play-by-play of the news. You don't give us play-by-play news on the tragedies of the world. There is more than enough of that everywhere you turn. In fact, that is why I frequent your channel so much. Don't change, my good friend. In other news, I think it would be fantastic if you did a spot on the Inquisitor on the Mystery Tea review. This is a great idea. P.S. I can't stand overdubs. I'd rather hear the native language and do the reading. Cheers. Thank you, Droid Little. Chris Coffey, our good friend, says, I wouldn't mind if you talked about current events, but I really have come to think of you as my good friend Bradley. So if you don't want to talk about something, I respect that. I want to listen to you talk about what interests you. What interests you? Fist emoji. Thank you, Chris Coffey. Doesn't mean you're trying to punch me in the face, right? That's just like, yeah, right? No. Next, from Ryan McFadin. As one who makes a living working on cable news, I did not know that, Ryan. That's interesting. I certainly appreciate you avoiding current events. It's nice to escape the dread, if only for a few minutes. Quite interesting. David Miller. So we had been talking about Syrian Latakia, Cyprian Latakia. David says, I prefer Cyprian Latakia, but I would have liked to try a younger version of Syrian. Now this is very important. All the stuff we were able to get our hands on when it was available was already considerably aged, which is why I think it's more smooth and subtle. So I mentioned that too when I was talking about Syrian Latakia. All the Syrian that we have is from at the earliest like 2010 or at the latest 2010. So you have to consider that. I'm sure from what I've heard from other people, Syrian Latakia, even when very fresh, was still more subtle and more mellow, but the stuff we're having, if there's any left now, is definitely even more mellow than that. Could very well have been just as strong as Cyprian when fresh. I don't think that was the case, but I don't know because I never had any fresh Syrian. Three Oak Syrian was an outstanding blend when fresh, but with 10 to 12 years on it, it's quite bland. Yeah, probably. Artisan's Blend was another I really enjoyed. Even still, my favorite Balkans have always been made with Cyprian, well, at least as long as I've been essing AP. Sorry. Yes, very good comment, David Miller. Next, feedback on the Timeless Style video on the Chisos #1 cowboy boots. Remember, check that out, please. Adam Gris says, after watching Kirby Allison's video, I don't know who that is, hopefully they're not a maniac, on getting a custom pair of boots made, I really got a renewed appreciation for cowboy boots. To be honest, I don't think I could pull them off, but I do appreciate the aesthetic. As long as you said you don't try to go full giddy up. Next, from Jeremy Bombalo. Bombalo? Bumbalo. Bumbaloo. Those are really nice boots and are much better constructed than Lucchese's for nearly half the price. Living in Texas nearly all my life, cowboy boots have been a staple piece in my wardrobe as long as I can remember. If you do not have cedar boot trees, you should definitely consider investing in some. Definitely a good investment for helping preserve a nice pair of boots. And yes, I didn't have any boot trees. I had tons of cedar shoe trees because I put them in all my leather shoes. So I did purchase, I think even before I got the boots, I had purchased some nice cedar shoe trees or boot trees so they have the longer shaft. I implore any of you, if you have expensive or just nice leather footwear, use cedar shoe and or boot trees. They are lifesavers as far as preserving your footwear, making it last a lot longer. They help dry out the boot or shoe if you've been wearing it all day and you're sweating in there. It can crack the leather, it can dry out the leather once the sweat evaporates. Put a cedar shoe tree or boot tree in there and it will greatly extend the life of your shoes. Next from John T, or last from John T, I'm a Texan, and I've been wearing cowboy boots for the majority of my life. There's a common misconception that only cowboys wear cowboy boots, cowboy hats, and other Western wear. And that just isn't the case. It's a cultural lifestyle that many people in this state embrace, mainly because it's how we were raised and it's how we grew up. It's just who we are. Bradley, if you really want to complete the ensemble, get you some Wrangler jeans and a Stetson hat. The general etiquette is we wear felt hats from Labor Day to Easter and straw hats from Easter to Labor Day. Thank you, John T. I don't know if I could pull off a cowboy hat, but we'll see. Maybe that'll the future might hold that. We shall see. And finally, gang, it is time for the very best part of the show, and that is where we thank our Patreon supporters. Remember, if you would like to support the channels on Patreon, there is a link in the description box below, and it is much appreciated. It helps pay for the fancy camera that is filming this video, the lights that are shining upon me, blends for review, just for keeping the channels and the videos going. Super appreciated. And every week we like to thank those who support the channels at $25 or more a month. People like Kirk Crompton, Glenn, Jason Buckner, Gloria Phillips, MDoftheNorth, David Gaudreau, Nick Papageorgio, John Tice, and Ryan McFadin. And of course, the Maniacs, the crazy people who support the channels at $100 a month. People like Bob Magee and Ashes of the Phoenix. And of course, the Hall of Fame contains our good, dearly departed friend, Peter Straub. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you all so much for watching. Please stay tuned for the, I don't have anything to show you, but the 3 Burley blends for fall video, which we'll be posting this Wednesday. If you haven't watched the Chisos Timeless Style review, the Timeless Style video on the Chisos #1 boots, that posted last Wednesday. Check that out as well. Every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday now, the Elden Ring series continues on Stuff and Things Plays. But until next time, until we meet again, I've been your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things on a very pleasant Sunday Stuff and Things. I'll see you later.